It's that time. You finally have some money to invest, but you have no idea where to put it. Look at all this money I got. I'm rich. I'm rich. Look at all this money. There are so many different options out there that people, they try to do research on their own, but they just don't know where to go. It's called paralysis by analysis. I don't know what to do. There's so many options. And the last thing that you want to do is nothing. I'm good. I'm just going to invest some other time. I'll just invest tomorrow. I'll do it later. Leave me alone. Today, I'm going to highlight the 4 best investments that you can make. The 4th one is probably going to surprise you. And I'm also going to share my thoughts on investing into cryptocurrency. So let's find out what these best investments are. What's going on, everybody? Jeff Rose back from goodfinancialsense.com, and today we're talking about investing, so you probably want me to show you the money. Show me the money! Money! All right, for those who don't know this about me, I've been a financial planner for over 15 years. I was a finance major in college, so investing has kind of been my thing, especially financial planning, investing for the future. So what are the best investments that you can make for yourself? Now, I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there are 4 that I want to highlight today. So without further ado, let's get started. The first investment that you can make, the best one for you, is the stock market. Oh, shocker. And I know what you're thinking, that's your best investment, Jeff? Like, I'm watching this video, you're gonna tell me to invest in the stock market? Doesn't everybody say that? Yes, that's true. Everybody says to invest in the stock market. I know that it's the most basic investment advice that you can get. But the sad thing is that people don't invest in the stock market. They still don't. I don't get it. Now, a lot of people might say, Jeff, look at the stock market right now. You know, we are at market highs. Is it really the best time to get in? And I get it. I would be terrified too if I was investing into something that was at the top. Because they always say you want to buy low and sell high. So is it really smart to invest right now? So let me say this. If I had $1 million to invest, is this $1 million? Am I close? Am I close to being $1 million? It's gonna grow. It's gonna grow. I would not put it all into the stock market right now. And even if the stock market was at all-time low, I still wouldn't put all my money into the stock market all at one time. A strategy that I would implement would be called dollar cost averaging. So what exactly is dollar cost averaging? All it is a simple concept that says, instead of putting all of our money in at one time, we're going to trickle our money in over the course of a time that we're comfortable with. So that could be 6 months, it could be 12 months, it could be 18 months, it could be 5 years, depending on how much money you really have. So for example, if you had $1 million, if you want to give me $1 million, I'll take it. So if you had $1 million and you wanted to dollar cost average that in, you might only put $100,000 in the first month. The remaining $900,000 would stay in cash or savings somewhere safe at your bank. And then the second month, you might put another $100,000. The third month, another $100,000. Now, $1 million, that's kind of a hard number to relate to. On a smaller scale, let's say you only have $1,000 to invest. Well, maybe you only put in $50 or $100 that first month, and you trickle the rest over the next year or 2 years or so. Dollar cost averaging is also very common if you have like a 401k or an IRA to where you're only putting in your monthly amount each month. So that's dollar cost averaging. So as long as I'm implementing a dollar cost averaging strategy, then I would be more than comfortable to invest in the stock market. So that's why I'm saying right now, it's still a good time to invest. So now we know that we want to invest in the stock market. How are we going to do it? Like, what are the best tools or vehicles that we can use? Well, there are so many different options. Typically, I will tell people to start with mutual funds or ETFs to get started. Now with mutual funds, there are actively managed funds and then there are index funds. Now, everything that you read on the internet says to invest into index funds. And I know why they say that, because there isn't a lot of great research, there are not a lot of great tools that will help you find really good actively managed funds. And there are a lot of stats that support that 90% of index funds beat the active managed funds. But my argument to that is always, well, what about the other 10%? The other 10% of actively managed funds that are crushing index funds. So as a financial advisor, we have access to tools that we pay for to use for our clients that we can weed out all the crappy actively managed funds and find the good ones. So that is just one unfair advantage that us financial advisors have, that we have access to these tools. So to invest into index funds, I get it. It's easy. You don't have to think about it. You can buy any index fund, and for the most part, you're going to be okay. Low cost, low fees, and you're still getting market participation. So I say all that just to say this. Start with index funds. Get your feet wet just so that you get used to the stock market, you get comfortable with it and how it works. Now you can get the exact same type of investment using ETFs or exchange traded funds. So all ETFs are just like index funds, where they're going to track different indexes from all across the different markets, all the different sectors. And like index funds, they're super cheap, so you can get into the market without paying tons of fees. So now you're excited, you want to invest in the stock market, you want to buy mutual funds, index funds, ETFs, whatever is your flavor in investing in the market, where do you go? Now there are so many different options, so don't freak out. I'm freaking out, Jeff, I'm freaking out. The one place that I always recommend for those that want to invest, but when they start thinking of where to put their money, they just start getting a headache and just panicking, is Betterment. So why Betterment? So with Betterment, they are investing into exchange traded funds, so ETFs, low cost investments. Betterment does not charge a high fee to managing these ETFs for you. And the best part for you is that they pick the ETFs for you. So they're picking the investments for you at a very low cost. So what does that mean? That means that you can invest your hard-earned money and you can just kind of sit back and enjoy the returns and let them do the hard work. Oh yeah, pay me my money. You do that, Betterment, you go. I'm gonna sit back and just enjoy these returns. So the only thing you have to do with Betterment is add money to the account and then choose your investment strategy, or what is your financial goal? Are you investing for retirement? Are you investing for a down payment on a home? Are you investing for the short term? Whatever that is, they'll then determine the best way to invest your money. So it's easy peasy for you. Now, if you want to have more control on your investments, online brokers like Ally Financial, TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, these are the types of online brokers where if you want to pick individual stocks, mutual funds, ETFs, you do the picking. So they're not going to pick for you. Now they have an awesome customer service where you can call their toll-free number and each of them will help you. But ultimately, it's still up to you to choose what you're going to put your money into. All right, one quick word. One thing I did not mention is buying individual stocks. So why wouldn't I recommend individual stocks to invest into? Now, I'm not saying that buying individual stocks is bad, just that if you're at the beginning stages of investing, trying to pick the best stock for you at the right time, and let's just say it might not work out. Could it work out? It sure could. And yes, if you want to go and do additional training and research to find good individual stocks for you, then so be it. But in my experience, those that have never really invested before or have just started investing, anytime that they try to buy individual stock, they usually just don't pick a good one and they lose their butt. Or it's the fact that maybe they found a good company, but it's just the timing of buying that stock might not be the best. So that's why I like mutual funds and ETFs, because they are picking those stocks for you inside those funds or ETFs. So you don't have to think about it. Oh, I don't have to think about it. My mind is free. I'm free. I don't have to think about it. All right, the second best place to invest your money, and this is one that I've been big on for quite some time, is peer-to-peer lending. So why am I so big on peer-to-peer lending? Because when you look at the returns, they're okay. They don't knock it out of the park. If you look on a lot of the sites, they'll say that peer-to-peer lending, you're making anywhere about 6% interest. Could you make more in the stock market? Could you make more in Bitcoin? Yeah, obviously. But I still like it as a nice alternative to investing in the stock market. So what is the concept of peer-to-peer lending? So let's say, for example, that you need to take out a loan, whether that's to refinance some credit cards, maybe it's to start a small business, whatever that is. So instead of going to a brick and mortar bank, you would go online to a peer-to-peer lender like Lending Club or Prosper, and you fill out the application just like you would at any other financial institution. And then if you get approved, instead of getting money from that institution, you're getting money from other people, your peers. You get it? Peer-to-peer lending. So as an investor, I'm investing my money not into the company, I'm investing my money into you, potentially, that is taking out the loan. but I'm not gonna give you the entire loan. Let's say you need $10,000. I may only give you $25, $50, $100 of that $10,000 loan. Other peers are going to lend you the rest of that money. And that is peer-to-peer lending. That's how it works. Oh, mind blown. So I'll tell you what, I'm not really big on loaning other people money, but if I'm loaning individuals that just a small amount, like micro loans, I'm much better at ease with that. So the other reason I like it, and I mentioned this earlier, it's the stock market. It's at an all-time high. Do I really want to put all my money in the stock market when it's near the top? Plus, interest rates are stupid low, so you can't get really good returns in bonds right now. So where else do you go to get a somewhat safer alternative investment to the stock market and bonds? Peer-to-peer lending. Now there are a lot of options when it comes to peer-to-peer lenders that you can invest your money into. The ones that I stick to right now are Lending Club and Prosper. Now Lending Club is definitely the giant of all of them. And that's where most of my peer-to-peer lending money is. So you can get started with Lending Club. I think they're $1,000 to get started. So it does take a little bit of money to open your first account, but that's it. And once you get your money in there, they help you make it really easy to find out how you're going to invest, all the different loans that you can buy. All right, the third best way that you can invest your money is into real estate. Now, I wish I could sit here and tell you that I'm a real estate guru and that I have crushed it buying houses, flipping houses, and buying houses on wholesale, but no, I haven't. I actually tried real estate about 7 years ago and almost lost my butt. Yep, wrote a blog post on it. Read it, check it out. But just because it didn't work for me doesn't mean it can't work for you. And I know so many people that are crushing it at real estate, whether that is buying houses on wholesale or flipping houses or buying houses to rent. There are so many different options into investing into physical properties with real estate. So if that's still an angle or an option that you want to consider, I would just say be cautious. And also if you can find somebody to mentor you so that you don't lose your butt on that first deal, because you know what, if you lose everything that you got in your first real estate deal, that's just not a good experience. So don't do that. But if you don't have somebody to mentor you, or you just want to take it slowly, there are other options to invest in real estate without buying physical property. Now, one option that you can consider are real estate notes. So typically these are through private lenders, and you kind of have to know somebody that knows somebody to get into these. And I got started into real estate notes because a really good friend of mine was just crushing it at real estate. So he was buying and flipping physical properties. He was buying houses on wholesale. He was buying houses to rent. So in addition to that, to diversify his portfolio, he decided to do real estate notes so that he would buy a pool of real estate properties, and then investors like myself would invest money into this pool with other real estate investors. And I would hand over the money, he would manage the properties, and then he would pay me a dividend or interest off that money. So for me, it was an attractive way to invest money without having to be a landlord, without having to actually manage the physical property and still make a good return. Now, the only downside to these is that obviously there's a lot of risk involved, right? I gotta make sure I trust this guy, that I know what he's doing. But the second thing is you're gonna have to actually have a little bit of money to get started. So that could be $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, on up to $100,000. And for many, that's not an option. So if that doesn't work for you, what other ways can you invest into real estate? Now, earlier we talked about mutual funds and ETFs. There are mutual funds and ETFs that you can buy that will invest into real estate. And whether that be US properties, it could be international properties. So there are tons of mutual funds and ETFs that allow you to invest into real estate. Now, another option that is newer that I'm really excited about is a company called Fundrise. So what is Fundrise? So Fundrise recognizes that there are a lot of people like you and I that want to invest into physical properties. We just don't have the money. We just don't have the know-how. We don't have the access that a lot of these big investors have. So kind of like the real estate note concept that I explained to you, Fundrise goes out and finds these properties. Typically, they're looking at commercial properties and they're buying these properties, and they allow investors like myself or you to invest a smaller amount of money to get access to these commercial properties. And they'll manage these properties for you. Now, like Lending Club, it's going to take a little bit to get started. It's about $1,000 to open an account with a company like Fundrise. So you have a company that is buying these properties for you. They're managing these properties for you. And all you have to do is sit back and collect the check. Not a bad deal. And that check is pretty good because if you check out Fundrise's website, they say that their investors over the last 5 years have averaged between 8.76% on up to 12.42%. Not too shabby. Now, there are some risks when it comes to investing with a company like Fundrise. The first one is that it's a new company. Yeah, they've been around for maybe 5 years, but still doesn't mean that they'll be here tomorrow. So take that into consideration. The other thing is that you are putting a lot of trust into them, into picking those properties for you. Now, the cool thing is that on their website, they are fully transparent in the properties that they own. So you can see them on Google Maps and see everything about them. But just because you can see them doesn't mean that you know or I know that if it's a good property. So you're putting a lot of trust into their know-how, their knowledge, their experience, and making sure that they're buying the right property for you. Either way, it's just a cool thing because technology has allowed investors to get access to commercial properties that typically we wouldn't have to. So Fundrise is one company, and I'm sure there are others out there, or there will be others, but that's the one that I would have you look at right now. All right, we're finally to number 4, and I told you at the beginning of this video that you might be surprised what number 4 is. Surprise! The best investment that you can make is in yourself. That's right, you. Now, it's fun investing into stocks and mutual funds and lending club and real estate and seeing those gains. But the reality is that if you don't invest into yourself, then you're really not going to grow. It doesn't matter how much you make on paper. Plus, investing into yourself, you gain so much knowledge and experience that allows you to really capitalize on all the investments that I just outlined before this. So one of the best ways that you can invest in yourself, it is the cheapest way, is by reading books. You see all these books? Yeah, I read all of them. I read all of them. It's been stated that CEOs of major corporations read on average 60 books a year. 60 books a year. These guys and gals are managing multi-million, multi-billion dollar businesses, and they can still read 60 books a year. Imagine how busy they are. Now ask yourself how busy you are. How many books do you read per year, per month, per week? If you dedicated to reading just 1 book a month, 12 books a year, you would be amazed on how much knowledge, how much experience that you would gain from reading those books. And no, books like this don't count. From someone that runs multiple businesses, has 4 children, I still find time to read books. Whether that be your hard physical books or listening to audiobooks. Either way, you have to read books. Another investment that you can make into yourself is in courses or investing into material that you can learn from other people. There are amazing sites like Udemy, Skillshare, or you can buy courses from mentors or entrepreneurs that have their material that they've packaged. Whatever topic or subject that you want to learn more on. Whether that's investing $15 or thousands of dollars, buying these courses will advance your knowledge, your career, your know-how so much more than other people that are not willing to take up that investment. Just to show you that I put my money where my mouth is, I wanted to learn how to do YouTube again. I've been doing YouTube for quite some time, but it had been a while, and I knew that YouTube had changed their algorithms and how videos get shared and viewed. So I wanted to make sure that I knew exactly what to do before I relaunched the channel. So what did I do? I bought a course and paid $3,500. Yes, $3,500 to learn how to do YouTube again. For many, that might be crazy, but I would tell you that I have made back that investment. I actually made it back in the first month of relaunching this channel. So yes, investing into courses, investing into someone else's experience can propel you to the next level at a much faster pace. All right, the third way that you can invest into yourself is through personal coaching. Now, I've done a few different ways. I went to a business coach or entrepreneur coach for 5 years and dropped a lot of money. And I want to tell you, that was hard for me to justify. At the time, I think it was between $7,000 or $8,000 per year for this coaching program. And before I joined that coaching program, I had never did anything like it. I thought it was weird. Like, what are you hiring a coach for? And why are you spending that amount of money? But this coaching program, I can't even tell you what it did for my career, what it did for my business, what it did for my personal life. Just understanding concepts and strategies that I wasn't applying on a day-to-day basis. So I did that coaching program for 5 years, and it has grown my business exponentially. So that is more of a group coaching program. You can also hire a personal coach. There are career coaches, there are business coaches, there are fitness coaches, there are life coaches. There are so many different types of coaches that you can hire. So find out what type of coach you may need, and whatever that money is, you would be amazed at having somebody that's there to hold you accountable and to give you guidance along the way. It will blow your mind how much success that you'll have if you find the right coach. All right, so those are the 4 best investments that you can make in yourself, for yourself. And I did tell you that I would give you my thoughts on cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and all that jazz. Now, quick disclaimer, I have not invested into cryptocurrency or Bitcoin at this time. Trust me, I know, I get it, I see where it's at, and I don't want to say how much it is because at the time of this video, it will probably change 1,000% in either which direction. But let me tell you why I have not invested into any sort of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. The one reason, the main reason why I have not invested into this type of investment is because, frankly, I just don't understand it. I don't know enough about it. I don't get it yet. And for any investment that you make, if you don't understand it, if you don't get it, if you can't explain what that investment is to somebody else, then you have no business putting your money into it. So right now, I have been so focused on investing into my businesses, investing into my family, investing into this YouTube channel, to where I just haven't had a lot of time to do research on cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. So I didn't invest into it. So many of you thinking, oh, you're an idiot, you've lost so much money. Have I? Have I really? Because what I have invested into has made me money, has made me a lot of money. So don't get caught up in FOMO, fear of missing out, with this crypto craze. I've seen this with the tech stocks back in the 2000 timeframe, when every .com company was going to the moon and back. Bubbles happen. Now, is Bitcoin a bubble? I'm not gonna sit here and speculate. You guys can do that in the comments below. What I'm telling you right now is that if you don't understand it, if you don't get it, then you have no business investing into it. At least with a company like Betterment, where you're investing into ETFs, maybe you don't get it, but at least in that, they're investing into Fortune 500 companies that have a proven concept. Right now, Bitcoin is a lot of craze, it's a lot of speculation that's driving the price up. So until I see some hard-earned data that shows that this is a stable investment and that it makes sense for the long term, then maybe I will invest into it and maybe I won't. To be determined, we'll find out. So here's my question to you. Which of these investments are you going to make first? Are you going to invest into the stock market? Are you going to invest into Lending Club? Are you going to invest into real estate, or are you going to invest into yourself with books, courses, or coaching? Which one of these are you going to make today? Let me know in the comments below. I want to find out what you're investing into and what investment questions you have. And if you haven't done this yet, which I don't know why you haven't, if you haven't, subscribe to this channel because I've got more videos like this coming because I want to educate you so that you can just know what's up. You can know what's up with investing. Get your money in order. Get your money life on track. So subscribe, like it, comment. I want to hear from you. Until next time, this is Jeff Rose from GoodFinancialSense.com, reminding you that it's your money, it's your life, and for goodness sakes, make it awesome. Peace. I gotta clean that up. Just probably lost $100 doing this. Got money in my couch. I found money in my couch. Yeah, I forgot what I said. Where are my notes at? Crypto.